Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated on Tuesday, April 4th, 1968. He gave the last speech of his life, the I've Been to the Mountaintop speech, the day before. And in hindsight, a lot of the wording he used in that speech is very eerie.
But it really doesn't matter with me now, because I've been to the mountaintop. I don't mind. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land.
Hello family, I believe all of you are doing well and fine today, and most of you clearly know my name. For those who are new here and new to this page, I'm Marvin, and please and kindly feel free to hit the subscribe icon below and follow my page. If you find this video educative, you want your family to know, you can as well share to them. Also, like this video for it to go to a high number of people. On today's special episode, our focus will be on Martin Luther King speech. Not all of us are clear on the ideologies Martin Luther King used to pass to the Black American family. I am here to enlighten you with how Martin Luther's speech and statements clearly affect the Black Americans in today's regime. Many people didn't pay attention to what Martin Luther King used to say. From the first video, we can clearly hear Martin Luther King died on April 4th, 1968. I believe it was an organized death because the white supremacists saw this as a threat. Martin Luther King was a threat to the white supremacists. That's why his life was ended. Clearly, he was championing and fighting for the rights of Black Americans in America. Clearly, racism didn't start today. Racism started a while back in Martin Luther King era. He championed for a place of Black Americans to be identified in the society. He is a bold person. He stood up. He didn't look back. He respected the Black Americans. He fight for their rights. He clearly was against white supremacists who were oppressing the Black Americans. From this video we're going to watch, we can clearly hear and see that majority of the people who attended his conference were of Black American family, and he gave the Black American family a sense of belonging in America a while back. Clearly, there is a statement he made that once he was on top of the mountain, he clearly saw the promised land. This shows how you will need to be at the top of the white supremacists so that you can see the promised land. Once you're not at the top of the mountain, clearly you won't see the promised land. This statement is not understood by everyone, but I'm here to break it down for you. On the videos you are going to watch, we can clearly see and hear Martin Luther King fighting for the rights of Americans. He never stood down. He stood steadfast, ready to die, ready to lose his own life for the welfare of Black Americans. The life in which you enjoy right now in America, it is clearly of the ideologies and the movement of Martin Luther King. He is a champion. He needs to be respected. Clearly, this shows how white supremacists are stepping down on Americans up to now. The killings that are happening in America, clearly, we were warned a long time ago by Martin Luther King. Let's watch the following videos and come back at the end and discuss how these speeches impact each and every life of the Black Americans family in America. Let's watch.
I'm tired of marching. Tired of marching for something that should have been mine at birth. I don't mind saying to you tonight. Because however much America strays away from the ideals of justice, the goal of America is freedom. Abused and scorned though we may be, our destiny is tied up in the destiny of America. Before the Pilgrim Fathers landed at Plymouth, we were here. Before Jefferson etched across the pages of history the majestic words of the Declaration of Independence, we were here. Before the beautiful words of the Star-Spangled Banner were written, we were here. And for more than 2 centuries, our forebears labored here without wages. They made cotton king. They built the homes of their masters. Don't let anybody take your manhood. Be proud of our heritage. As somebody said earlier tonight, we don't have anything to be ashamed of. Somebody told a lie one day. They couched it in language. They made everything black, ugly, and evil. Look in your dictionary and see the synonyms of the word black. It's always something degrading and low and sinister. Look at the word white. It's always something pure, high, and clean. I want to get the language so right that everybody here will cry out, yes, I'm black, I'm proud of it, I'm black and beautiful.
America freed the slaves in 1863 through the Emancipation Proclamation of Abraham Lincoln, but gave the slaves no land or nothing in reality, and as a matter of fact, to get started on. At the same time, America was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that there was a willingness to give the white peasants from Europe an economic base. And yet it refused to give its black peasants from Africa, who came here involuntarily in chains and had worked free for 244 years, any kind of economic base. And so emancipation for the Negro was really freedom to hunger. It was freedom to the winds and rains of heaven. It was freedom without food to eat or land to cultivate, and therefore it was freedom and famine at the same time. Riots develop because of conditions that exist in our society. Conditions of poverty in the ghetto, conditions of police brutality in certain situations, conditions of disenchantment on the part of young people and others, and despair. So that I don't think we can point to any individual and say that's the cause of a riot. We will have to look at the real and basic cause, and I think these conditions of economic deprivation and social isolation and psychological frustration are much more at the root of our riots than any particular individual.
I have the audacity to believe that peoples everywhere can have 3 meals a day for their bodies, education and culture for their minds, and dignity, equality, and freedom for their spirits. I believe that what self-centered men have torn down, men other-centered can build up. I still believe that one day mankind will bow before the altars of God and be crowned triumphant over war and bloodshed, and nonviolent redemptive goodwill proclaim the rule of the land. And the lion and the lamb shall lie down together, and every man shall sit under his own vine and fig tree, and none shall be afraid. I still believe that we shall overcome. This faith can give us courage to face the uncertainties of the future. It will give our tired feet
new strength as we continue our forward stride toward the city of freedom. When our days become dreary with low hovering clouds, and our nights become darker than 1,000 midnights, we will know that we are living in the creative turmoil of a genuine civilization struggling to be born.
All we say to America is be true to what you said on paper. If I lived in China or even Russia or any totalitarian country, maybe I could understand some of these illegal injunctions. Maybe I could understand the denial of certain basic First Amendment privileges because they haven't committed themselves to that over there. But somewhere I read of the freedom of assembly. Somewhere I read of the freedom of speech. Somewhere I read of the freedom of press. Somewhere I read that the greatness of America is the right to protest far right. And so just as I say we aren't going to let any dogs or water hoses turn us around, we aren't going to let any injunction turn us around. Well, I don't know what will happen now. We've got some difficult days ahead. But it really doesn't matter with me now because I've been to the mountaintop. I don't mind. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
And I can see nothing more urgent than for America to work passionately and unrelentingly to get rid of the disease of racism. Something positive must be done. Everyone must share in the guilt, as individuals and as institutions. The government must certainly share the guilt. Individuals must share the guilt. Even the church must share the guilt. We must face the sad fact at 11 o'clock on Sunday morning when we stand to sing, "In Christ there is no east nor west." We stand in the most segregated hour of America. The hour has come for everybody, and for all institutions of the public sector and the private sector, to work to get rid of racism. Now, if we are to do it, we must honestly admit certain things and get rid of certain myths that have constantly been disseminated all over our nation. One is the myth of time. It is a notion that only time can solve the problem of racial injustice. And there are those who often sincerely say to the Negro and his allies in the white community, "Why don't you slow up? Stop pushing things so fast. Only time can solve the problem. And if you will just be nice and patient and continue to pray,
in 100 or 200 years, the problem will work itself out. Well, that is an answer to that myth. And it is that time is neutral. It can be used either constructively or destructively. And I'm sorry to say this morning that I'm absolutely convinced that the forces of ill will in our nation, the extreme rightists of our nation, the people on the wrong side, have used time much more effectively than the forces of goodwill. And it may well be that we will have to repent in this generation, not merely for the vitriolic words and the violent actions of the bad people, but for the appalling silence and indifference of the good people who sit around and say, wait on time.
If you're still here with me, God bless you. God bless your family. God bless Martin Luther King family, and God bless America. What's your take? Clearly, on his speeches, mostly, it touched people's heart when he talked. He talked with so much sympathy. You could see tears wanting to roll down from his eyes. He clearly loved the black American family. He was against white oppression and black oppression, because I feel both families were oppressed, yes, but majority who were oppressed were the black family. That's why he was championing for the freedom of black Americans. Clearly, on his speech, he states that black Americans need freedom of speech, they need freedom to express themselves, they need freedom to protest where they feel they are neglected. But in this regime, if you're a black American and you want to protest on the street, it is your right. But on white supremacists, they feel like you are an enemy. You don't need any response to attack the management of America. On the top tier, we can see on today's regime, Trump attacking black Americans when they are on the street protesting, bad living habits, bad economic conditions. They are clearly targeting the black family. But on today's regime, we were warned a while back. Martin Luther King clearly warned black Americans that this war is not ours. They felt that if Martin Luther King was alive up to now, probably the black American family will be strong and more resilient to the oppression of white supremacists. Clearly, Martin Luther King was one of the greatest philosophers I know around. I did an episode on Malcolm X. The two people met only once in their lifetime. Many people saw the two had different ideologies, but when they met, it was history made. They met only once, that's what I mean. But they are two people who made black Americans' lives more better up to now. They championed for laws that support and uplift the black American family. The oppression that you face right now, the guilt that you face right now, the bad mouth that you face right now, the racism, the fascism you face right now, did start now. The little that is remaining, the majority of troubles, Martin Luther King championed for your release. He clearly went down with racism, but a small number of Americans, of white Americans, are clearly against black Americans. Martin Luther King will go down as the greatest philosopher I know around. He championed always for the black people around the world, not majorly the black American family. Whenever I watch his speech, I feel that I, with my race in my skin color, I can go and face the world with my chest high. Clearly, Martin Luther King needs the respect of all people. I have never heard white supremacists talk about Martin Luther King because they know they can't play with fire. I respect Martin Luther King ideologies up to now. I respect all the facts, all the speeches he made to protect the black American family. Always remember, family, when you feel you're down, always switch on, watch the speech of Martin Luther King, and it will truly uplift you up. You are living in a regime where you are not liked at all. You are facing racism, and no one is there to protect you. Malcolm X and Martin Luther King clearly were people who were protecting the black American family. Remember, no one is there to protect you. Always be on the watch out because the white supremacists are coming and they are not backing down anytime soon. Always stay on the safe side. Always respect the laws because they want you to break the law and you will face justice regardless of what you've done. What's your take in this? Will you still support Martin Luther's speech, his ideologies, his statements? Let's engage. From the videos we have just watched, what has touched you the most? Is it the part of racism? Is it the part of slavery? Is it the part of freedom? Let's engage, share, and we will be on the same page. Remember, family, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and share. See you on the next episode, and thank you for watching. Goodbye.